Hey, welcome back, everybody. Wyatt Hertz here with a little more, you know it, a little more Homefront action from the OnLive game service. And it is Friday, and that means another featured Fridays round, another community spotlight match where I grab somebody from the Homefront community on OnLive and get them in their own match up here on the channel. And let's look and see who it is this week. It is Buffalo Wings, the Iron Maiden of the Air. Homefront's Iron Maiden of the Air. I don't know, that kind of fits. But we'll see. Well, it's definite after this round. You won't believe the numbers that come in at the end of this. But anyway, Buffalo, welcome. Welcome to the spotlight there, miss. Yes, that's right. If you didn't know it, Buffalo is one of the female gamers that we have over there on OnLive, and is definitely, it always has been a small community when comparing kind of the male community to the female community and the gaming community, right? But it's always nice to see the women getting in here, mixing things up with the guys, especially when they're as skilled as Buffalo is. Now, let's take a look. I want to get right into the action. Take a look at some of the groundwork she's doing because it is limited. There isn't a lot of groundwork done. She ends up taking to the skies early on and really just dominates the round from there for quite a while. Now, we are playing some Angel Island, some ground control on here, just straight ground control, mind you, no battle commander. And look at her, just spot on. The kit she's using, the M16, one of my favorites, tac reload in there. ACOG scope, obviously, is on top. Tac reload, quick draw, steady aim, and situational awareness. Situational awareness, really, now that I'm thinking of it, I don't use it too often. But the situational awareness, just the way that you have these two large mounds of earth rising up, and all the guys that love to do a little ledge work, posting up on those rocky outcroppings up in the shrubbery on the hilltops. There are a lot of them, and right there, a perfect example. The name did pop up as she started taking a little fire. So situational awareness, I highly recommend that for this map in particular. But she didn't really need it there. She was just putting them down. She was putting guys down before they were spotting her, and she was on the move. She was right in there. She helped grab both B and C, and finally did get put down, but she did manage to grab enough BP to come in here in the air in a scout. And watch out, fellas, when you see Buffalo take to the skies, you gotta be careful, and you need to put up some resistance, which just doesn't happen here. There's a little bit, but just not enough. She's allowed free reign of the skies and does a lot of damage. Now, let's take a look at how she came in here. I wanted to, I missed it. I was talking, but she did come in. If you noticed, when she flew over A, there was this great little low hover. She came in low in behind the building, which was smart. It had strategic merit there. Keep herself concealed, keep herself hidden from, or put that shield between her and any fire that might come her way. And she rose up there and gunned down at least one of the guys that was making the charge on the objective. And I love that when it's like cinematic and kind of dramatic like that. I mean, imagine what it must have looked like from the enemy's point of view to see her come up, just rise up from behind that building and start putting fire their way. And that was a great landing, a great landing, capping the objective. I do love seeing that from other heli pilots. There aren't enough of them that try it out there. I do it, and Buffalo is just pro at it as well. She came in for a really nice landing. Didn't take any damage really at all, which is not easy to do in the Scout. The landings with the Apache are much smoother, although the helicopter, the Apache, also much bulkier, so a little harder to get into those tighter locations, but it will land much more smoothly because of the rubber wheels of the tires on it. When you have just the skids and you slam down, if you just slam down a little bit too hard, you will take some damage and shatter some glass, twist a little steel. But anyway, here's that opposition I was talking about. Like I said, she doesn't take much. You see an RPG or a dumbfire missile go whizzing by, but Toy Ahoy, one of the more experienced players on the other side, does come in, trying to take the battle to Wings here in the air. Unfortunately, he really is just outmatched here, and she is graceful up there. I love the way she goes in for those dive bombs. I do it myself. You've seen it in my dogfights. It's really effective because when you go in low like that, you can get up much higher when you come up and you ascend. You get to those higher altitudes when you start your ascent from a lower altitude, very low altitude. But the way she transitioned in and out of those from the first person to the third person view was great. I don't do that, but it helps her, I think, get a better sense of where she is, and helps her keep an eye on the target. Helps her get her bearings, and you'll notice she does it every now and then when she comes in for these landings as well. Now, right here, another pretty solid landing here on A. I give it a a 7.8. She a little bit too much drift there, but she does manage to settle it down and caps the objective. So they took the first set of objectives. They've pushed the enemy back into their territory, back over to this the radio tower side of things. And she's just going right back to the skies. Coming in on B, she's now found her new target. She's looking to put down any opposition that might be guarding this objective, and she'll probably make a move on it if I remember right, although I'm not sure. I think she tries to get in low, but she keeps seeing an enemy and is forced to redirect, and is just kind of hoping that her team will move in there on the objective, but I don't think they ever do, you know. She's really forced to go after the opposition here, and you can see just some great spotting. She doesn't, you know, she has a co-pilot right now, but really no diamonds coming up. She's got great eyes on her, you know, eagle eyes. She's just either that or she's playing on some massive monstrosity of a television set, which is never a bad thing in gaming, but you know, she's right on the mark. And that's the thing, guys, if she catches sight of you, watch out in the skies. And that's why I'm saying they needed to be putting some opposition her way, and they just weren't. However, they are walking away with the victory on this end of the map, on this set of the objectives. They're holding too strong, while her team is only managing to retain C, you know. And if you notice, if you see all the names, they really are strong over by C right now. So it looks like they're pretty contained over there, despite the great work that both Loco and Buffalo are doing in the air. And I do love these moments when you get into those nice little flight patterns. It wasn't long. It was a short little flight there in behind Loco, but I do love those moments. And she did try getting in there. She was going straight in for a swooping landing on A, but she's forced out when she heard the missile lock coming in, and she played it really well. You know, there was no hesitation there. She didn't try pressing her luck. She's circling around the battlefield, coming in really low behind cover, and she's hunting down the LAV/Rhino, whatever it might be, that's trying to put a missile lock on her. And there it is. Toy Ahoy one more time. At least he's putting up some resistance. I do like to see that, although it's all for naught. She played that perfectly and got the jump on the Rhino and scrapped it, you know. Beautiful work. But, however, you know, the team does get pushed back to the center of the map here. But she is merciless back here. Just cleaning up all the scragglers, playing referee, saying, you're out of bounds, get back into the battle. I'll help you out, I'll send you to the next life, and you can get a little closer to the objectives, you know. She's given the team, she's given herself a slight handicap in that regard, because she needs it. She needs a little handicap, you know. She's that damn good up here. God damn. So anyway, she's obviously got her sights set on A here. You can see her team has managed to grab B. And this being a 3-round ground control, I mean, I know I said it's big numbers, and it will be big numbers at the end, but this 3-round ground control, it's hard to compare, you know, the numbers that Ash posted on a TDM match with the numbers that Buffalo is going to bring in here on a 3-round ground control. Obviously, there's a little more time. There's a little more time to pull in a few more kills, and there's no kill cap, you know, so obviously, it's kind of like comparing apples and oranges, but regardless of that, I mean, rounds like this on a 3-round ground control are few and far between for most of us. Some of us never achieve it, and especially when it's a full room, you know, obviously it's a little bit easier when it's just a handful of guys. But this is a pretty full game, and these are big numbers any way you slice it, you know. So good for her. I was really happy that we ended up getting this for the Spotlight video, you know, because the chances of that happening are pretty slim. You know, she's always a great performer, but to get numbers this size, oh my God, they are big. They are big. You'll have to wait and see what they are. They are big. So trying to get in here on A one more time, trying to, you know, amazingly C is still left up for grabs way at the other end of the map. And really, most of the battle taking place here at A, and probably there are a lot of snipers and whatnot sitting up on the hill, putting some fire B's way as well. And she does get in there, tries to get in there for a low hover. She does pull out, however, to try and deal with this buzzard. Not one of her greatest moves, you know. I would have said just hold yourself in there. And this is, you know, Hertz pro tip. She should have held the objective and just popped the flares, because the flares will also absorb any buzzard fire as well, you know. You won't take any damage. So with the two guys that were on the ground, it would have killed 2 birds with 1 stone. With her hover, low hover, or landing on A, she could have helped cap the objective, and with the 2 guys that were also on the ground, she could have shielded them from any buzzard fire that was coming their way as well, you know. Because it's really hard to pick off a buzzard in the air with the Scout. It's not an easy task. She did try for it, but I think it just fell to something else, some other friendly fire. And at this point, you can see that the team is really starting to walk away with this. Amazingly, C still is still up for grabs. The entire team here camped out on this rocky area, apparently just kind of watching the show unfold, almost like they all had a bag of popcorn, maybe a beer or two or something, and we're just watching watching Buffalo go to town in the skies, you know. But finally, she ends up just taking herself out of the game. Was tired of flying, I guess. Decided to just tried to park it on a tree and finished herself off. And if you notice, she did have 5,000 BP. The match really close to ending here. She does come back in this obviously it's an airstrike kit, and just starts ripping out the white phosphorus, you know, really quickly. Not really paying attention to where she was sending them. The first two missed completely, and that last one pulled in a couple late kills. So a 2-1 victory, a 3-round ground control, and massive numbers. Those extra 2 kills giving her a little bit more. It would have been nice to have seen her crack that 50, but that 48-2 is nothing to be ashamed of. Just massive numbers. Like I said, a scoreboard breaker. Those are big. So goddamn, there you go. New leader here in the community spotlight for anybody keeping track of that. But again, it's tough to compare the TDM. You know, it was just straight TDM that Ash played with that 34-3 and a 3-round ground control. But at the same time, you know, just they were both big numbers. It doesn't really, you know, it shouldn't be compared like that. But goddamn, those are huge. 48-2. So let's get into the signature kit. What's she recommending here? Now, she called this, I'm not sure. I asked her for a signature / recommended kit, and she said the signature kit is My Wings. My Wings with an A in between the A and the M and the Y there, so it's like My Wings. And but then she said my recommended kit, so I'm not sure what she was getting at there, if My Wings was supposed to be a signature kit. But even looking at her loadouts, she doesn't have something called My Wings in there. So, but anyway, so basically this is what it is: a signature / recommended kit titled My Wings, M4 with a red dot sight on there, and I love that gun as well. Really effective. She's got C4 in there, thermal goggles, and Hellfire missiles in her purchase slots. TAC reload, steady aim, and quick healer in there in her infantry abilities. So obviously, she's looking to do some frontline work with that quick healer in there. Steady aim, always a plus when you're using that M4, trying to keep that diagonal snap and pop that gun has in check. TAC reload, obviously, again, that's a sign of frontline play, that she's looking to push the assault. Whether she posts up on the front lines or not really doesn't matter. It's simply that she is, you know, whether she's going to running gun or just trying to post up in an area, a heavy traffic area, those infantry abilities will come into play with the M4, obviously. So she asked her why she wanted to recommend it. She said it's great for close quarters combat, mid-range, and pretty effective when you have the steady aim on there at those longer ranges with that weapon. I asked her if she had anything else she wanted to say. She said, she told me to say Wings is a noob. I guess she's got haters out there. I don't know what the hell the deal is with that. You know what? Some people hate on us, heli pilots, Buffalo. It's don't worry about that shit. And guys, stop the hating on Buffalo. Look at that, just beast. She's leading this community spotlight, these community spotlight rounds now with those huge numbers. She says she's having a lot of fun on live though. Great people, good community for the most part. And so that's really about it. That's really about all she said. So let's move on. That's takes care of the signature kit. I guess we need to get into the danger rating here. Goddamn, you know, we'll get to that in a second. Anyway, I want to thank Buffalo for getting involved. I want to thank all of you for checking this out. I shouldn't have to say it, but I'm going to anyway. Get in here and leave a like and a comment on this. Those are big numbers. Even if you're just watching this video and you're not signed into YouTube, take the 10 seconds, sign in here and give this a thumbs up, or just leave a comment, you know, letting her know what you think about the round, because those are some huge numbers and certainly deserving of a little something, you know, a little gratification, or gratitude, I guess would be the way you would use that word in in what I said. Anyway, so again, thanks Buffalo. I'm glad I got you up here, being that you're one of the deadliest heli pilots out there. You are my nemesis in the skies. So with all that said, now let's move on to the danger rating. Now, looking at the 48-2, I mean, massive numbers. I mean, I've had rounds like that on 3-round ground controls, but they, again, like I've said before, they're few and far between. They don't happen all that often. So, you know, things were running through my mind. I didn't know what I wanted to. I had what I wanted to give you. There were lots of different possibilities, obviously, with big numbers like that, but I finally settled on one. One spoke to me more than the rest. So, Buffalo Wings is what you get, and we'll get it right up here as I say it. Angel of Death Dangerous. Yes, that's what she was there. Angel of Death, swooping down and stealing souls at will. As soon as she caught a glimpse of somebody, they were basically done for, you know. And with grace and relative ease did she claim all those souls for Lord Nemesis. Yes, so Angel of Death Dangerous, a really high danger rating. You know, I think those numbers are pretty well untouchable at this point. I'm sure guys can beat them, but I don't think anybody can do them in kind of the standard full room, even on a 3-round ground control. I think it's hard. You know, I'm sure you guys can do it, like I said, but I think it's going to be hard to get it in that window when I'm actually specking, you know, when I'm actually in there spectating and capturing what's the gameplay that's playing out. So you know what? That could be about it. That could be as high as she gets with a 48-2. But the challenge has certainly been laid down. You guys, some of you guys that are going to be coming up in these spotlight videos, if hunting down those big numbers is what is important to you when you get into the spotlight, I will guarantee you're going to have your work cut out for you now. Hitting that 48-2 and beating that, or even just matching it, is going to be a feat in itself. So there it all is, guys. Again, thanks for tuning in. You know, thanks for checking this video out, and thanks for checking out the content that you do. You know, that you guys are what makes the channel what it is, right? It's still small yet. We're still small time here, but we're growing every day a little bit, or most of the time, every week, I guess would be a better way to put it. And your ongoing support is always appreciated, you know. I can release all the videos in the world, but if nobody's watching it, then what's the point, right? Does it make a sound if nobody's there to watch it, right? So anyway, again, thanks all. I should wrap this, so until next time, remember why it hurts, and watch out for the wings when she's in the air. Later.